something to help remedy that with health and wellness. It can be a business plan too, which is a great opportunity to meet and interact with all types of people who care about changing lives. So when you are ready to make a difference, call Jamie at 602-295-9969. That's 602-295-9969.
Hey everyone, it's Adam from Vets On. Are you or someone you know looking for employment? Then look no further than iVetX. iVetX is placing veterans with the right hiring companies. Join their mission in putting veterans in inspiring careers with ensured success. Access their national pipeline of military talent for companies. All veterans are pre-screened for 55 soft skill sets, 800 clarification types, education, experience, salary range, and so much more. iVetX can help you find the perfect job to veteran match. Your skills are based on what's needed for success in that job. If you're a hiring company or a veteran looking for your next career, then get started today and go to www.ivetx.com. iVetX, bridging the employer-veteran gap by putting Americans' veterans to work today.
You're listening to the No Limits Radio Show on the Vets on Media Network.
Oh, and I guess we're going twice.
You're listening to the No Limits Radio Show on the Vets on Media Network.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Christina, Conehead 1.
And I'm Michelle, Conehead 2. Why am I Conehead 2? Maybe I want to be Conehead 1.
All right, I'll be
It's
2.
a conspiracy.
2's bigger than 1, so. And I'm bigger, so I'll take that.
Oh, how I missed you.
So if you're watching on the feed and you've just tuned in and you see that I got this aluminum foil, tin foil cone hat thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do see it.
We're talking about conspiracy theories today. So it kind of seemed fitting to wear one of these things because it protects your brain so the aliens can't read your thoughts.
Well, I have saran wrap, so is it going to protect my head? I feel like it's not. I'm screwed.
I don't know. You know, if you wrap your whole body with saran wrap, it's actually a weight loss tool. So
Rob, can you go get the saran wrap, please? I don't think you're finished.
We got a body wrap to do. Actually, I don't think I can keep this thing on.
Well, I can't because so take the pictures now, people, your screenshots, because they got to come off because I can't get my headset on here.
Know.
But Rob, thank you for our wonderful hats. We love them.
All right, that was fun.
That was fun.
Yes. All right, so let's talk about what a conspiracy theory is. And a conspiracy theory is actually defined as the act of conspiring, an evil, unlawful, treacherous, or I can't pronounce that word. That's a conspiracy theory right there. They use words that I can't understand.
In the definition.
In the definition.
Total conspiracy.
Big conspiracy theory. I mean, you've got your 9/11, your JFK, the moon landing. We've got some conspiracy theories that might be related to this whole border crisis thing.
John Lennon. Don't forget John Lennon.
John Lennon. The Phoenix Lights. I mean, there's a lot of conspiracy theories out there. There's some that have been debunked. There are some that have come true. So we've got a lot of conspiracy theories to talk about today. If you have an opinion on any of these and you want to join the conversation, give us a call. That number is 602-399-7787.
So again, that is...
What does that say?
602, hold on, because she's getting sidetracked, everybody. So it's 602-399-7787.
But what's the word in parentheses? Skype? So 77.
That would be Skype, yeah.
So 7787.
7787.
Is
I need to
Skype.
come up with a really good acronym. I need to sit there and look and then go, come up with whether it's boobs or something like, or I guess that would be 5 letters, but boobs would be more for me, not for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so the number is 602-399-SKYPE. Not in the go to Skype. Don't go to Skype and be like, I can't call in. But the number so 7787 is for Skype.
I don't think so.
How's that possible?
Because 7787 isn't Skype.
How would a 7...
Babe, where'd you come up with that?
I don't think that's right. Because an S and an E, those aren't on the same key.
No, it's the Skype number. We use Skype as our call. That way people can call in and use their. They can either call in from their computer or they can call in from their phone. So it works either way. We've got a landline. It works as a landline and a internet. So.
Welcome to No Limits. We're learning how our phone works right now. This is fabulous. Give us a call.
So the acronym is not Skype. It's 7787. If you call Skype, I don't know, you might get some like 900 line, sex talk. I have no idea, and it's not our fault if that happens.
Okay, so awesome.
So we've been gone a couple weeks. How was your 4th?
4th of July was great.
Yeah. What did you do?
Actually, it was not great. I was sick. Yeah. So we watched the Capitol 4th of July at home and hung out with our neighbors who were shooting off their own fireworks. None of the fireworks actually left the ground because, as you may or may not know, Arizona has passed a new law that while you can purchase fireworks, you can't purchase fireworks that actually leave the ground.
That actually do anything. That are actually fun. You can spend money on a bunch of crap that'll light up in your rock yard. However, you can't buy anything that's actually pretty.
Exactly. So what about you? What did you do I have no kids. So my kids are with their father. So that was another thing that was interesting about this 4th of July as opposed to other 4th of Julys.
Oh, yeah. Because you guys normally have a whole little thing that you do. Like a tradition.
We normally, on the 3rd of July, we normally go to Red, White, and Boom, which is an Ahwatukee fireworks. I don't know that they actually had fireworks this year because of the big haboob, the big storm that came in. I did post a little video of the storm from my backyard.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. We were in San Diego, so it was beautiful there. We got away from the heat. But coming back in town, we hit a huge dust storm. So, and I did video that. I don't know if you saw that. Did you see my video? I wanted to take part of it with your video.
Thank you.
So, yeah, we were the only ones continuing to drive. Everybody else was on the side of the road, but, James is like, we're going for it.
Hey, we made really good time.
Because everyone was on the side.
Everybody was on the side of the road, but I've lived here almost my entire adult life except for my military time away. And I've never seen a storm come in like that before where the wind is sideways, the rain is sideways, and I could feel the anti-skid in her Jeep like actually activating in between. It was pretty hairy, but she was stressing out. I'd have to let that saying they never let them see you sweat. That's what I was doing. So yeah, it was.
Do you think the weather was a conspiracy theory? Like the government was controlling?
There's an Air Force base down there, so anything is possible. It's probably.
It could happen.
It could.
I mean, the whole conspiracy was it's 4th of July. We're going to derail the fireworks. We're going to derail your, patriotic experience.
So do you think they got some big-ass fan and just put it out in the desert and turn it on high?
Well, some people that subscribe to the chemtrail, they're actually... So I guess we're going to get into chemtrails right now.
Let's do chemtrail.
Okay. So some people subscribe to this theory, and they call the exhaust that comes off of the plane, when you look up in the sky and you see that white trail that's left behind the jets. Mm-hmm. Well, conspiracy theorists say that this is a cocktail of chemicals and biological agents that are being deliberately sprayed. Some of the reasons could be for population control, weather control, or warfare. So it's possible, if you subscribe to that theory, then it's possible that chemicals are being used to control the weather.
Interesting.
Crickets.
Weird.
I don't know that I believe in the chemtrail conspiracy theory. I don't think I'm a believer of that.
So it's actually that the actual term for that exhaust is contrail. It's a condensation trail. And what happens is the formation is triggered by water vapor in the exhaust of aircraft engines. It can also be triggered by changes in air pressure and wing tip vortices or in the air over the entire wing surface. It was really interesting. The weekend before 4th of July, I had a conversation with a pilot, And I asked him, this whole chemtrail versus comtrail, what are your thoughts on this? And he sat his drink down and he started to get very animated. And he was like, listen, with all the things that I have to do with getting the plane ready to take off, with all the things that the airline has to do, getting passengers through the TSA and all of that, do you really think that we have time while loading fuel, while getting the passengers' baggage on the plane, do you really think we have time to add in there a cocktail of chemicals? Well, people that subscribe to the conspiracy theory would say that he's either in on it or he's oblivious to it. But it was really interesting to hear from a pilot that said this is ridiculous. It's not possible. It's not factual. It's not happening. Scientists have debunked this theory. It was interesting in our event, someone commented that scientists have actually proved that it's factual. And to that, if you're if you believe that chemtrails are actual, I would love for you to call in right now and give us your thoughts. Share with us what you think about chemtrails. And
yeah, because they're saying the difference can be seen because normally if it is just a vapor that's not chemicals, if it's just the normal vapor, that it dissipates pretty quickly. But if you see the ones that kind of linger on, they're saying that those are the ones that have chemicals in them.
But they all linger
But other
on.
people say that that's just a difference in, pressure and humidity and that kind of stuff. So
Right. And the thing is,
no, they don't all linger on. Haven't you seen some that it's like that kind of like they seem to kind of go and it's pretty quickly. It's not as bright or it's not as formed, and then other times it seems like it stays in that straight line for like forever.
I have not noticed them to stay in the straight line forever.
Well, okay, not forever. I didn't literally mean forever. Otherwise, the
said
whole
forever.
sky would be flipping lines
So
of like coke.
just like cocaine.
Yeah, it'd be just straight lines.
It's cocaine in the sky.
Cocaine.
That's what it is.
You call it chemtrail. I call it cocaine.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess I kind of wonder, what would the motive be? And like some of the people that subscribe to this theory have said that, our own government is doing it and that they're spraying us to dumb us down and to control us. And wow. I mean, I'm open to things that I don't know about. So I'm really trying to keep an open mind and be objective and look at all the facts related to this. To one of the people that's in the event, commented on our page, and with respect to the chemtrails, actually said that scientists have proved this. And I do want to comment to that because back when lead was first being used, they were saying, there were scientists that said that it was safe and that it was okay, when in fact those scientists were in the pocket of those that benefited from lead. And it took other scientists coming forward and doing continual research and showing the research to really fight that battle and say, no, lead is not safe. So I really think that just because someone's a scientist, you kind of have to look at what's their agenda, is there an agenda, and where's the proof?
Right. And it's the same with asbestos.
Right.
That started, and actually that was one of the theories of a, conspiracy theory that ended up being a true fact. Because in 1930 to 1960, manufacturers were doing everything that they could do to prevent the link between asbestos and respiratory diseases, including cancer. There was actually a lawsuit back in 1932, but it was not determined until 62 where they proved that yes, there is a link. So yeah, so sometimes it can take a long, long time before we know.
Right.
Maybe they're not lines of coke.
So what do you think? Do you think they are?
No.
No.
I don't. I don't think chemtrails are. I think it's just no.
See, I don't either. I just, yeah, I really, I don't think so.
James?
I don't believe in them only because I've had a run-in with a guy who's a tinfoil hat type of guy, kind of like yeah, just like that exactly. And everything is just like you guys said. And I guess it would make more sense if the person was more reserved and they brought data instead of saying, well, watch this guy. It was some crazy nut in some mobile park trailer like out in the middle of the desert. I mean, and the way the guy approaches it, it makes you not believe anything.
Just
anymore.
because of him.
Just because of him. Like
Right.
you know, it's like the whole Ron Paul, and not to offend anybody that's a big Ron Paul fan, but you know, it's stuff like that. You know, when I've had, you know, hey, let's do a protest or demonstration at the VA. You know, one of his first questions, can I bring a rifle? No, that's not what this is about. This isn't a Second Amendment issue. So it's guys like that totally turn me off to conspiracy theories altogether.
Right.
But I'm not a big chemtrail, you know, believer, if you will.
Right. Yep.
All right.
Me neither.
So based on our conversation, chemtrail is not factual.
And the fact that none of you called in to share your points
Right.
and thoughts. And I do want to say something. You know, while we are, you know, the three of us all seem to be in agreement that they're not chemtrails and that they're contrails, unlike other media outlets, on this show, if you call in and you disagree with us, we're going to let you share your points. We're going to let you share your thoughts. We're not going to cut you off. We're not going to, you know, belittle you for your opinions. No, we're not.
I didn't say anything.
You just had this look.
Just look, okay. I promise to just be myself.
So you are going to belittle
All I
them.
can do. I'm not going to belittle anyone. I might say they're full of crap, but I'm not going to belittle them. All right.
Oh.
But go ahead, call in. it's like gambling, you know, roll the dice. Is it going to be a good call or a bad call?
I realized a pet peeve of mine this past week.
Really?
And that is talk show hosts that come across like they are the all-knowing, all-powerful, and they come across like they're journalists. And so listen, not to derail from the conspiracy theories, although maybe there is a conspiracy theory in here. If we talk about it long enough, we might get to a conspiracy
We can always
theory.
come up with one.
But, you know, talk show hosts that come across like they are the expert and that they are a journalist, we're opinion people. You know, that's it. I'm sharing an opinion. Michelle's sharing an opinion. This is not, you know, we're not journalists. And when you're driving around in your car and you're listening to a talk show host, they are opinion people. That's all they're doing. They're sharing their opinions. They are not journalists. So what they say is not factual, and some of them
Well,
are
it could be
downright
factual.
Well, but it's not necessarily. So
Correct.
you've got to question it. You've got to question
Yes.
everything. Question everything. Which sometimes conspiracy theorists, I think they question a little bit too much.
Right?
Right?
I would agree with you.
Okay.
What's our next one? What do you want to do next?
Well, you have one.
I have two different ones. You know, we have the one that is the cancer, about the study that was done with THC,
Okay.
and then we have the John Lennon
All right.
assassination.
Well, let's start with John Lennon.
You want to do John Lennon?
And then we'll talk
You
about...
want to do him? He's dead. You can't.
You guys are gross.
I can't.
I was going to talk about cancer, but then I got high. You know the song?
And I got high.
Then I got high. Then I got high.
I do know that song.
Okay.
I've heard
John
it before.
Lennon.
Okay, so John Lennon, there is a conspiracy that Mark Chapman did not either act alone, or maybe he wasn't even the actual shooter.
Okay.
For those of you, do you know anything about the
I
assassination?
don't, so share with us.
Okay, so the way the story goes is that John and Yoko were walking back into their apartment in New York, which was called the Dakota,
Okay.
if you know anything about that. And the driver actually did not pull through the gate. He just dropped them off out in front of it for them to walk through the gate themselves.
Okay.
So Mark Chapman said hello to Yoko. She kept walking. John was a few steps behind, and he fired 5 times.
Okay.
And fired them. John ran inside, and Mark Chapman just kind of dropped the gun, went over to the wall, and started reading Catcher in the Rye. So that is what has happened. He said he did it, and I love this song, by the way. He said that he did it, and there really wasn't an investigation. They said that he was psychotic, that he was a huge John Lennon fan, and that because of John Lennon's fame, and speaking of like this song where John Lennon talks about no possessions and whatever, and John Lennon was a very, very wealthy man, that he was offended by that, which is why he shot him. However, Mark Chapman had not one album of John Lennon's. He spent several years traveling to many different countries that were known to have CIA different offices and things.
Okay.
He was a security guard, so he didn't really have a lot of money, so how that was funded. Catcher in the Rye is known as a, when they did the testing, and that's another conspiracy theory. Help me with it, James. The movie came out about it, where the CIA was doing the trigger assassins.
Who was in the movie? Maybe can you?
No, I have it. No, it's
Triggers.
about the CIA.
Was it recent?
No. The CIA, and they did the testing on. God, what was the name of that movie?
Pineapple Express.
No, Pineapple Express.
That had pot in it, so I'm still got pot on the brain when you said pot.
I didn't say pot. You
I
said pot.
Somebody said pot.
I still love that picture where you guys were discussing weed and Michelle's. Desiree's in the background. My mom's talking about the first time.
Yeah, that was real funny.
I thought it was funny.
Yeah, I know you did.
It was hilarious.
I'm gonna do one with your daughter in the background. So okay, I can't believe I can't find it.
What was an actor? And I'll research it real quick.
I'm not gonna think of the actor on it, but I'll find it here. Hold on 1 second, people. Listen to John Lennon. It was a great song anyway. It started with an M, and I had all this. Why can't I find it?
Is it a recent movie? 90s,
No,
2000?
You can't find it because of all the chemicals that they're spraying.
That's right. It's the chemtrails.
It's either that or I just didn't have my damn coffee enough this morning. That could be what it is. You guys know this. When I say this, you're going to say, oh, yeah, why did I think of that? I'm just not explaining it very well. I feel like Christina, when she has all her paperwork and then she doesn't have it ready. Anyway.
Give me some more clues. Okay,
I'm going to look and find it. But anyway.
Could you act it out?
No. You guys know this movie.
Sure.
It was about the CIA. It was about the CIA.
Okay.
And they took people and they brainwashed them, and then they would trigger them with some word that would start the assassination.
Oh, that doesn't even ring a...
Oh, yes, it does. I'm just not doing a very good job of explaining it.
I can't think of it.
I don't know. No, this was a long time ago. No, that's not it.
Hurry, because I'm going to be running out of Beatles songs.
How do you care?
We only have an hour and a half show.
All right, forget it. Okay. It doesn't matter.
Anyway.
It doesn't matter. But anyway, a lot of people say that he did not act alone, that he was part of the CIA, that they sent him to do it. He was the fall guy. He read Catcher in the Rye, which is the same book that the Lee Harvey Oswald or McKinley with Ronald Reagan had in his apartment after his, and that the shots were on the left side of John Lennon's body, but Mark Chapman was standing on the right side of him. So they also know that the bodyguard that was at the Dakota that night was a former CIA agent, and they think that he is the one that shot them.
I've never heard that until you told me that this morning coming in.
Yeah. So
Michelle is actually a CIA agent.
Right? Because I'm thinking, what would a CIA agent be working as a security guard today in an apartment building?
I don't know, but I feel like I need my tinfoil hat.
Okay, now wait. You do understand.
Michelle, are you reading my brain right now?
Yeah,
She's an alien.
Yeah, but you understand that John Lennon was very, very famous. So for him to have a security guards that are not just going to be your $10 an hour security guards, he's going to have people that are very, very trained.
But okay,
the FBI had 500 pages of surveillance of John Lennon. And John Lennon quoted in an interview in 1972, if anything ever happens to Yoko or me, it is not an accident.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So
yeah,
let's just break this apart a little bit.
Yes.
Break it apart. At this time period, didn't the FBI have a lot of files on a lot of people? And given that John Lennon was a high-profile person, might it be common for them to have files on him?
500 pages is a lot, though.
Well,
this
how
is
many
not just
files?
they followed him from 1969 until when he did his free John Sinclair concert, which was the White Panther guy who went to prison, and he did a concert, and the man he was freed. So they followed him from 69 until 76. And they stopped following him, but he was pretty much on constant surveillance all of the time because of his ability to affect the American population,
right?
And the fact that he was an activist for peace.
Okay, so because he was an activist for peace, the government shot him.
Yes,
is essentially
what they're saying.
And the individual that was basically the fall guy for it and didn't actually shoot him?
That Chapman was the fall guy, because they're also saying that in the autopsy there were 5 shots. These shots were so close to each other, that you could barely tell where one was ending and one was starting. So the person that shot him knew how to shoot. So they think that he was just the fall guy. So any of you John Lennon fans, any of you believe it, you don't believe it, give us a call. 602-399-7787.
I feel like you're kind of a believer of this one.
I am a believer of this one. Yeah, you can put the hat on. I'm not saying that necessarily it was the CIA that did it, but it was not Mark Chapman. I really don't think it was Mark Chapman. I think he somehow agreed or whatever.
But didn't he say that he did it?
He said he did it. However, he said that he had voices telling him that just to do it. Okay, so that was a 3 repetitive, that programming, and I'm going to find it when we go on break, that programming of do it was at the point where he fired. However, like I said, the guns were...
I just figured it out.
What is it?
It's Nike. Just do it.
It's not Nike, and just do it wasn't around when that happened. That
Nike
slogan
is behind it. Or wait, doesn't Mountain
Nike's not behind it.
Mountain Dew is behind it. Isn't theirs like do it? Mountain Dew, don't they have like a... I don't know. Don't they have like...
Do, isn't it just do?
Do the do.
Do the do.
Do the do. That's what it is.
Mountain Dew and Nike are behind John Lennon.
Question.
John Lennon, yes.
By the end of the show, are we going to have a tally of who believes in what? So we already know Michelle's on the John Lennon. Are you? Is there one in there that you're going to reveal that you fully behind, Christina?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm a believer of this one.
Okay.
Christina?
Not so much.
Okay.
James?
I would. There's something weird to it. If I have a security guard that's a CIA agent, I would think his security level. Like I know for me, when I pulled security for people before, that was everything was about them. The focus was on them. I don't know. Maybe he just got complacent. It's just weird.
Okay, so you think that? Okay,
there's something weird there.
Here's the thing. Here's what I'm not understanding. Are you thinking that it's odd that there was a former CIA agent that was the security detail?
Mm-hmm.
Why is that odd?
I think that.
What if he got fired? What if he wasn't a good CIA agent?
It's like, what do they call doctors who get D's and pass through medical school?
So let me tell you about the CIA agent.
Okay.
He was the doorman on duty at the Dakota building the night John Lennon was shot. Okay, and just recently in the last couple years, they are saying he is probably the prime suspect. He was an anti-Cuban exile who worked for the CIA since 1961 and actively involved in the CIA's Bay of Pigs operation. It also emerged that he had conversations with Chapman outside of the Dakota building, waiting for Lennon to return. So they were seen talking before Lennon returns. He also worked with the CIA agent Frank Sturgis, who is also cited in connection with the JFK assassinations.
Okay.
So,
I think anything's possible. Go ahead, James.
No, I was just, there's with so much going on with the stuff you see like Benghazi and how the government knows, and I think with the way social media stuff can get around faster, I think that's why we learn so much more now than we did back then. So I think there's a lot of stuff that's possible. It's just, my honest opinion. So.
Okay.
So are you going to say you are a possible believer? Because we have to do our
I am going to say I'm a possible believer, and I'm going to say that Christina's hat makes me want a loaded baked potato right there. Just that's what I want for lunch. Just saying.
The Manchurian Candidate.
I never saw
Great
it.
movie.
The CIA's MK Ultra Mind Control Program.
Never saw
Okay.
it. Okay.
The original and the one that came out in like the 90s is a great movie.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
I did see that. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
If you would have said Chinese food, I'd been like, Manchurian Candidate.
I knew I would find it sooner or later.
All right. So moving on from this topic, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back in just a couple more minutes.
And what are we going to talk about? Which one?
We are going to talk about some conspiracy theories. I don't know, Phoenix Lights, moon landing. We'll be back in just a couple
JFK?
minutes.
All right.
Yeah, we'll be back.
You're listening to No Limits Radio Show on the Vets on Media Network.
Breaker, 19. How about that bandage? You got some ears on, son?
Have you ever wanted to be a truck driver? If so, pay attention. If not, pay attention anyway. Southwest Truck Driver Training offers everything you need to get started. You can get hired before you begin training. They've got GI Bill approved training facilities, day, night, or weekend programs to fit your busy schedule. And if you have any questions, no sweat. They've got veteran supportive campuses with veterans on staff to serve you. And on top of that, they have lifetime job placement assistance. Put the pedal to the metal. Call Southwest Truck Driver Training today.
Everyone's going to need an attorney at some point in their life. I'm no different. Hey everyone, it's James from Vets On. Whether it was my last will and testament before deployment or my ongoing custody battle for my children during my divorce, I needed help, so I lawyered up. If you need help, I urge you to contact Capstrom Law Firm. Capstrom Law Firm in Springfield, Missouri services clients throughout the state in criminal law, personal injury, and family law. With over 13 years practicing law, Tom Capstrom understands both law and court procedures and how stressful they can be. Let Tom Capstrom Law Firm and his dedicated staff take the stress and worry out of a difficult situation by calling him today. We feel so strongly about the work that Tom and his staff are doing that he'll be a monthly guest on the show. Tom is a veteran and a listener, for God's sake, so you know the guy is solid and will fight for you. Give Tom a call today by calling 417-864-0552 or email Tom at capstromlaw.com. And don't forget to tell him that Vets On sent you.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertising.
Are you sick and tired of being sick and tired? Are you or someone you know suffering from eczema, diabetes, or vitamin deficiencies? Then I can share with you something to help remedy that with health and wellness. It can be a business plan too, which is a great opportunity to meet and interact with all types of people who care about changing lives. So when you are ready to make a difference, call Jamie at 602-295-9969. That's 602-295-9969.
Hey everyone, it's Adam from Vets On. Are you or someone you know looking for employment? Then look no further than IVETX. IVETX is placing veterans with the right hiring companies. Join their mission in putting veterans in inspiring careers with ensured success. Access their national pipeline of military talent for companies. All veterans are pre-screened for 55 soft skill sets, 800 clarification types, education, experience, salary range, and so much more. IVETX can help you find the perfect job to veteran match. Your skills are based on what's needed for success in that job. If you're a hiring company or a veteran looking for your next career, then get started today and go to www.ivetx.com. IVETX, bridging the employer-veteran gap by putting Americans' veterans to work today.
You're listening to No Limits Radio Show on the Vets on Media Network.
All right, we're back. Welcome. Thanks for listening. We're talking about conspiracy.
I love when you can tell when Christina, just so you all know, if you're listening and not watching, which most of you are, and you are kind of trying to figure out what Christina.
I thought you were going to say traumatized when you said I was like, she's going to say traumatized. Oh, trying. Okay.
Trying to figure out why Christina isn't quite getting it out there. It's because she's doing something else. Just so you know, she's not a multitasker, so it just means that she's probably like looking something up for her next alien. It's not a conspiracy theory. Okay, it's not just you. There's nothing wrong with your phone. Don't call Apple. There's nothing wrong. There's not like a time delay. It's just Christina.
You know, I think most women pride themselves on the fact that they are great multitaskers. And we know from science that the way that information moves in a woman's brain is right to left. You know, it's a highway going back and forth. Whereas a men, you know, the information is on one side and then the other side. I don't know that my highways are connected. Because
so you don't have a
There's
high
no
level.
off-ramp for this thing. What the hell's going on?
There's no off-ramp.
I do not multitask well. I know this. I understand this. If somebody calls me and I'm driving and they want to talk about something serious that I need to focus on, not just like chit chat, but like, this is serious, I will pull off and have that conversation. I don't multitask well. So yes, I was multitasking right there. I apologize. I apologize.
We're back.
So what do you think about aliens? And I don't mean like illegal aliens. Not the ones that are coming across
the border. That's what I thought you were talking about.
I mean like E.T. phone home.
You know, I think, this is my thoughts, obviously, that we would be very narcissistic to think that we are the only beings in this entire universe. However, similar to the fact that we are not in these other universes or planets trying to take them over or even know that they exist or whatever, I don't know how much I believe that aliens are here with us. Like, I think that they're probably like us in their own little thing, and maybe they're narcissistic and think they're the only ones around, and maybe they're not, and they are kind of like these theorists that think there's someone else out there. But I don't think that they're here with us or flying around.
Okay, so I've got a couple theories on that. I do
okay.
I do think, and I'm going to put my tinfoil hat on so that they can't read my mind.
So you're crazy right now? Okay, so your thoughts on aliens.
My thoughts on aliens. I do think that aliens have been to this planet. I think that from time... What?
I'm listening.
Okay, so, I mean, we have evidence in the Phoenix Lights, which we're going to talk about a little bit later. So I do think that they have visited this planet, and I think it's kind of like... Okay, they are an advanced species. Kind of like you can't have a conversation with a baby, with an infant. You have to wait until that baby gets to an older age that you can have a conversation, because the baby doesn't speak your language. The baby isn't ready to have a conversation. So I think as a species, humans, us, all of us, are not advanced enough, and that's why we haven't had contact with aliens. So I think from time to time, they do come to this planet, check us out, see what we're doing. I think the reason that we had the Phoenix Lights, which was the lights over Phoenix, I think the reason that we saw that here in Phoenix is because they come here and say, really? So Alien 1 is talking to Alien 2, really? There's people living in the middle of the desert where it's 120 degrees? No. Really? Let's go check that out. And so they're basically doing a drive-by to see that all of us idiots are living here. So that's my explanation for the Phoenix Lights.
Okay.
And my theory on aliens.
So you do think they come here?
I do think they come here.
Okay. Do you think they take people to experiment on?
I think it's possible, and there have been several stories and accounts of that. I'm certainly open to the possibility of it. And yeah, so I think it's possible.
Okay.
Now, do I believe that there are alien reptiles? Like, so Diana, Princess of Wales, claimed that the entire royal family were actually alien reptiles. I don't know what I think. I don't.
Well, listen, here's what I say. If you're going to buy the one conspiracy theory that the aliens are here, that there are aliens and they come here and they check us out and figure out why the hell are you in Arizona? It's 110. And they take us and they probe and they do all these experiments. If you believe that, then maybe it's not a far little bridge to think if Princess Diana made that statement, then was her death a conspiracy? Because that is another conspiracy theory, is that she was murdered.
I think it's possible. I know that there are several websites that are devoted to alien reptiles and the belief that some of us are extraterrestrial beings. There are actually some websites out there. And if it's on the web, it's got to be true.
Right? I love that commercial. Is it State Farm? I love that commercial. Where she goes, that's not true. It's not on the internet or whatever. And he said, not everything on the internet is true. And she goes, yes, it is. And then she's like, oh, here comes my date. He's like some model, like Scandinavian model. And this guy walks over and he's totally a dork. And he's like got glasses on or whatever. So anyway, no, it's not always true. It's in the internet. So you kind of are a little bit batshit crazy on the alien thing, huh?
I think it's possible.
Okay.
I know that there's a theory that some aliens have actually come here and mated with human beings, and that there are half-breed aliens here, and some people think that they may not even know that they are aliens. And so the way to these people would be identifiable. I don't believe in this, so seriously, don't look at me like that.
Let me understand that. So, like, the person that's the alien doesn't know they're an alien?
No, the person that's an alien knows that they're an alien.
Okay.
They have sex with a human.
Uh-huh.
They have a baby.
Uh-huh.
The human doesn't know that their mate was an alien.
Uh-huh.
And the offspring doesn't know that they're an alien.
Obviously.
And the way that you might recognize these people as aliens is that they have larger heads and they're really smart. They're highly intelligent. Math, science comes very easy to them. So I know.
So
I'm not
all
an
the
alien.
Asians.
Oh shit.
Oh my God! Send your hate mail to
602. Sorry, it just kind of popped out. Well, they're smart.
that's yeah. That's a compliment, I guess. Okay.
It was a compliment.
But the big head thing, I was like, whoa, hey, hold up there.
Isn't Adam Asian?
Yeah, Adam's
Yeah.
half.
Go
The only
ahead,
way you
Adam.
can- the only way you can tell is if he's naked. Other than that. Oh, there's another one. Oh, I'm sorry.
Poor Adam. He's not even here to defend himself.
Send that hate mail to Vets On with Adam and James, because I didn't have anything to do with that one.
Let me ask you guys this, because there was a huge. Have you guys ever seen Fire in the Sky? That's a local alien movie about what
About
happened.
the Phoenix Lights?
It happened in Strawberry, Arizona. 3 friends went camping. It was like 1979, 1980. And they disappeared. Both had where they were probed and all kinds of stuff. There was a huge movie about it called Fire in the Sky. You should watch tonight. It's really, really interesting.
So the 3 guys went camping, and 2 of them disappeared forever, or
No, they came back.
they came back?
Yeah, they came back. It's listed as science fiction. It happened in 1975 in Snowflake, Arizona. Loggers. They were loggers and co-workers. Driving home from work, the men came across an unidentified flying object. Curious to learn more, they get out of their truck. They're struck by a beam of light. Fearing that they were killed, they flee. And next thing you know, they're found naked. You should really watch. It's on Netflix. I know it sounds like
Sounds like Deliverance,
it sounds
babe.
like a Turkish bathhouse movie, but I've watched. I was because
They were probed?
right.
What's the Deliverance little tune? How does that music go? So are these men still alive?
They're still
and
alive.
Do they speak of their experience?
They do. A lot of people thought they were nuts, but they've taken polygraphs and all kinds of stuff. I guess it changed them forever. It's a really good movie. You should watch it.
So do they now
It
have
came
big
out-
heads and they're really smart? No, I'm
Right.
just-
They came out in
there-
1993, by the way, if you're looking
Okay.
for it.
There was an episode of Monumental Mysteries, and I don't know if you guys have seen this show, but it's really a fascinating show. And in one of them, they shared an experience of this hunter. He's out hunting. He's hunting deer, or antelope, some large animal with things. I don't know. It was something big. So he's out hunting, and
It was Bigfoot, which is a whole other conspiracy theory. But anyway, it wasn't an animal.
so he shoots at this animal, and his bullet actually hits something invisible, lands on the ground, and you can see that the bullet, they showed the bullet, and the bullet is flat on one side. He is then taken into this ship, and he's experimented on, and the alien tells him, "You're not the kind that we wanted," or something, or you're not the right type, or something. Yeah, you're not the right type.
Talk about rejection.
I know.
Damn, the aliens don't
These
even
are not
want me.
the humans you were looking for. It's
So he comes back, and he goes to his doctor, and he's talking to many medical professionals. He happened to have Rob, was it tuberculosis? I think it was tuberculosis. So he had scar tissue on his lungs previously. After this experience, they do x-rays, and they see that the scar tissue is gone. So when they were scanning, so the theory is that when the aliens were scanning him, they healed him. Like, while they were identifying that he wasn't the right type, they healed those scars. So medicine wasn't able to explain that. So that's another one of those stories of the possibility.
One of the things when I was out in the desert at NTC, which is a training area for United States Army to train for desert warfare. I was out there like 1997, sitting in a ditch, manning a gun. I was in a foxhole manning a gun. We were doing this whole training thing, and the space shuttle came back in. It just got dark. It was about 9 o'clock at night, and it was during the summertime, and it just got dark. The space shuttle entered the atmosphere to land at Edwards Air Force Base, and it was like the sun came up like that. It was the oddest thing I've ever experienced. And they said, "Oh, it was the space shuttle," and the space shuttle did land, but something happened. I've never experienced that in my entire life. It was like the sun just shot back up in like a split second, and I was like, "What in the hell just happened?" Yeah, it was. You're giving me that weird look. That's how I felt as a 19-year-old, 20-year-old kid.
So wait. Let's recap.
Mm-hmm.
So you're in a foxhole. What time of day is it?
It's almost 9 o'clock at night.
9 o'clock at night.
The sun had just went down. It was summertime in California. So that's I'm on the West Coast. It's in California. It's in the Mojave Desert. Sitting there on a gun, just waiting for my shift to get done and go to bed or whatever I'm going to do, play cards. And then all of a sudden, something goes overhead. Something flies over, something big. And then all of a sudden, it's like I said, it's just this. It's like the sun is up again. It's not a bright flash of light, and it stays that way for a while, and then it goes back to being dark again. It took about 3 minutes for it to go back the way it was. It was the weirdest thing ever. And they said it was the space shuttle entering our atmosphere again. And I'm like, that was a little close. But as a private, I don't know. But it's still I still think about that today. It was weird, really weird. Yeah.
Okay. That's really batshit crazy.
Uh-huh.
Do you think it's possible that... All right, I'm going to share a theory that my mom has. Sorry, Mom.
Babe, take her off the Thanksgiving list.
Okay, so this theory might tie in with your experience.
Okay.
So you know how we have some days that feel really long and then some days that feel really short?
Yeah.
My mom has a theory that aliens actually control time, and that's how we have those experiences of long and short days.
What? There's 24, I don't even understand. There's 24 hours in a day.
There's
What do you mean?
24 hours.
But you know how
in
some
a
days
day.
seem really long.
Some days seem really long.
Like when
Some
you're like,
days- so the aliens control time and
Oh.
make some days feel longer and shorter. Now listen, I just got to share with you. I take that theory with a grain of salt because my mom has told me some really batshit crazy things in the past. Like makeup is the cause for the hole in the ozone layer. But she was actually telling me that to fuck with me. Okay.
Because it was Aquanet, right?
No. Okay, so I had this... God, okay, we're totally derailing her. I had this...
What theory were we talking about anyway that we totally have gone? Okay, all right, go
I know
ahead.
the time of day was.
The time of day was it. Yeah. Okay, so it's Earth Science. Mr. Emmerich gives all of us this assignment, and the assignment is share what you feel is the cause of the hole in the ozone layer. So my car, I'm a senior in high school. My car's in the shop. My mom happens to pick me up from school. I'm sharing with her this homework assignment that I have. And I basically have to come up with something that hasn't already been identified and then give a logical hypothesis, a logical reason. So I'm talking to her about it. My mom gets really serious. She's like, I've got it. This is it. Think about it. Women all over the world, every day, they get up in the morning, they put makeup on. By the end of the day, the makeup is gone. Where does it go? Maybe that is what's contributing to the hole in the ozone layer. I'm like, okay, sounds good. Homework done. My mom never comes back to me and says, I was kidding with you. That's crazy. That's ridiculous. So I go into school the next day. I stand up in the front of the class where there's a guy sitting at the back of the class who I've got this huge crush on.
I thought you were going to say there's a guy in the back waiting with a straitjacket, so if any of us have a batshit crazy one, they're taking us away. Oh, it's just a cute guy.
No,
okay.
So I stand up and I share my theory, and very confidently, seriously, and Mr. Emmerich, I will never forget this, he takes his glasses off, he sets them down on his desk, and he said, Christina, the only thing that concerns me is that you are graduating, going out into the world, and there's nothing I can do to stop it. I came home that day, and I was like, Mom, you're dead. I was so pissed. She's laughing hysterically because she couldn't believe that I actually shared that theory with anyone, and now I've just shared it with all of you. Hi, my name is Christina Wagner.
Wow. I can't believe he never got Teacher of the Year, did he? I mean, that was kind of a rude comment to make. I mean, what about your creativity? I mean, he could have said something nice.
Well, at first he thought I was joking. Like, he was waiting for the, I'm joking. And when I was serious and then continued to back it with my reasons, that was the point that he was like,
forget it.
Wow. Yeah. Can we go to a break now?
Do you guys need a break?
I need a break. I need a Kit Kat break.
All right, so you've just listened to Christina's craziness, and we'll be back.
Everyone's going to need an attorney at some point in their life. I'm no different. Hey everyone, it's James from Vets On. Whether it was my last will and testament before deployment or my ongoing custody battle for my children during my divorce, I needed help, so I lawyered up. If you need help, I urge you to contact Capstrom Law Firm. Capstrom Law Firm in Springfield, Missouri services clients throughout the state in criminal law, personal injury, and family law. With over 13 years practicing law, Tom Capstrom understands both law and court procedures and how stressful they can be. Let Tom Capstrom Law Firm and his dedicated staff take the stress and worry out of a difficult situation by calling him today. We feel so strong about the work that Tom and his staff are doing that he'll be a monthly guest on the show. Tom is a veteran and a listener, for God's sake, so you know the guy is solid and will fight for you. Give Tom a call today by calling 417-864-0552 or email Tom at capstromlaw.com. And don't forget to tell him that Vets On sent you.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertising.
Would your goal be to get you and your family out of debt? I can show you how thousands of people and families are doing just that. This is a business plan made simple. We offer everything from weight loss products to green cleaning solutions. Whether you're interested in making it a full-time or part-time opportunity to become debt-free, or if you are just sick and tired of being sick and tired, call Jamie at 602-295-9969. That's 602-295-9969.
Breaker 19. How about that bandit? You got some ears on, son?
Have you ever wanted to be a truck driver? If so, pay attention. If not, pay attention anyway. Southwest Truck Driver Training offers everything you need to get started. You can get hired before you begin training. They've got GI Bill approved training facilities, day, night, or weekend programs to fit your busy schedule. And if you have any questions, no sweat. They've got veteran supportive campuses with veterans on staff to serve you. And on top of that, they have lifetime job placement assistance. Put the pedal to the metal. Call Southwest Truck Driver Training today.
Do you need an extra push to start your day? Well, then tune in to Addie's Radio. Addie's Radio is a show that explores tough questions in an open and fun forum. The program also engages hard-hitting issues concerning veterans' physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual health. This show airs every Tuesday from 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on the Vets On Media Network. Addie's Radio is hosted by Jesse James, a combat veteran of Afghanistan, so he knows the problems that veterans face every day. Jesse provides you guidance each and every week to be a better you. So tune into yourself each week by tuning into Addie's Radio. Go to vetsonmedia.com for show details.
You're listening to the No Limits Radio Show on the Vets On Media Network.
All right, we're back. So we've been talking about conspiracy theories, and the next one that we're going to talk about is the Phoenix Lights. If you would like to chime in on this topic, give us a call at 602-399-7787. Again, that number is 602-399-7787. We're going to talk about Phoenix Lights, and then we're going to talk about the moon landing.
Okay.
So on March 13th, 1997, an event occurred across the state of Arizona that has become the subject of great debate in the UFO community. Hundreds and perhaps thousands of witnesses from all walks of life reported seeing this large V-shaped craft over a mile across with unusual lights traveling slowly and silently at a very low altitude. Some witnesses who reported being directly underneath it as it passed said it drifted right over the housetops, so close it seemed they could almost touch it. Witnesses' accounts suggest that at least one unknown craft and possibly others passed directly over Phoenix and penetrated through Sky Harbor airspace before drifting off to the south towards Tucson. At least one air traffic controller at Sky Harbor admitted in a televised news interview that he saw the lights. Skeptics and debunkers dismiss the event as flares or a host of other man-made or natural explanation, while thousands of witnesses insist that was what they saw and it cannot be explained by anything else. Our former Governor Fife Symington was one of those that claimed to have seen it. So, I mean, earlier we were talking about some of the people that come out and talk about aliens and different conspiracy theories, and the conspiracy theory almost seems to be disputed or debunked based on their credibility.
Right.
But when you have someone like a former governor, that's very interesting. For one, I think that this one is not fake. I think that this is, I don't think that it is flares. These lights were traveling at a steady pace in a V-shaped form.
Mm-hmm.
And a flare, like I've never shot off a flare, but James, you could probably talk about what a flare. Have you ever shot off a flare?
Oh yeah, lots of them. But
Okay.
then from what I've never seen the lights itself, but a flare, it goes up and it comes right back down. Those lights hover.
Right. I mean,
So-
they hovered like in a V-shape.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, and for 3 hours.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it wasn't just
So- So here's one of my things. No, okay, so I don't think that it was flares or anything like that. I don't know if it's an alien craft. I wonder if at this time they were starting to work with the drone technology, and maybe that is what it was. But would a drone have lights underneath it?
I
It
don't know.
could, but to hover like that, I don't know if they have. I can tell you
The
that
ability to hover that long?
to hover like it does, most of them are they're fixed wing. They're not rotary wing,
Okay.
unless they're smaller. But I can tell you that they do test drones out here. I know for a fact. I've seen them.
So I think it could be plausible that
Mhm.
the Phoenix Lights were drone. Equally, I think that that they were drone technology. I think it's also possible that they were aliens, because again, I think aliens are possible.
You know what? And it could be something. Maybe if you look at, I mean, we live pretty close by in the same area. Do you guys ever see the helicopters flying at night over the house? The lights are out, but you can tell it's a helicopter. It's
Yeah.
just a blinking light. A lot of those helicopters are, they're either DPS or the sheriff's department, and they'll have something on them called a forward-looking infrared, a FLIR camera, and it picks up heat signatures from it can tell, okay, this house is giving off an unusual amount of heat. Then they start watching that house because maybe they're growing pot inside there or something like that, and then they send it down and say, hey, it's this house, and then they'll start watching it, and then maybe they'll pick up their garbage can and dump it, and they'll say, oh, we found a pot seed. There we go. Now we've got a warrant to search, stuff like that. So it could be a law enforcement tool. I don't know. I'm just saying there's a couple different reasons that it could be, but I know that they do that for a fact. Yes.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I had no idea
Mm-hmm.
that they were doing that.
They're watching you all the time.
Hey, I got nothing to hide.
And we're not talking about aliens. We're talking about the government.
That's why Michelle grows her pot out back with the
That's right.
with the tomatoes.
Yeah, with a big old fan to keep it cool.
That's right.
I don't need that heat sensor going off. Screw that crap.
Oh.
So, but it's funny because Wikipedia does call the Phoenix Lights was a UFO sighting which occurred over Phoenix, Arizona and Sonora, Mexico on Thursday, March 13th, 1997. That's what it's defined as.
A UFO sighting.
That's what, yeah. I mean, it's Wikipedia, but that's what it says.
If Wikipedia has it on there, then
Then
gotta
damn
be
it, it's true.
Did you
no
know that,
longer a theory.
Did you know that you can go in and you can change content in Wikipedia?
I love that. Yes.
How do I
Yeah.
do that?
Yeah. I'll show you how you do that. So
I don't even want to know what you changed.
well, I was trying to make a point to Sky.
Oh, she did change something. Oh, God. I was just joking.
I was trying to make a point to Sky. Sky is my 17-year-old daughter, and at the time she was doing homework and she was using Wikipedia for her sources. And I was like, Wikipedia is not a trusted site. You cannot use that. Here, let me show you. So the Mexican Revolution, the cause of it, I went in and changed it. The cause was Christina Wagner. It's been changed back. I'm no longer listed as the cause
Really?
of the Mexican Revolution.
So
that is so awesome.
yeah.
But does it only change on your, I mean, you can go in and change it, but that doesn't mean that it
All of
saves and alters it.
It saves it for everyone that searches for that item in Wikipedia. Yes.
Until when?
Until somebody catches it and realizes that you messed up Wikipedia.
Really?
The
I don't
whole
know that I
idea-
believe you. I'm going to go change something.
Change one of the conspiracy theories. That'd be hilarious. But do you need to do it right now? We're
No,
kind of-
I'm a multitasker, girlfriend. I can change whatever on Wikipedia and talk all at the same time.
Okay, I'm just saying because we're kind of
My
doing a
highways
show.
do go this way. Yours only go this way. So,
All right. Well, let's move on to the lunar moon landing.
okay.
Okay. So this is obviously one of those big conspiracy theories. There is a group of individuals that believe that we never landed on the moon and that they were faked. And some of the reasons that they think they were fake are related to the space race, related to NASA funding and prestige, and the Vietnam War. Some of the examples that they cite are the waving flag, that there's no atmosphere
Mm-hmm.
in space, so how could it be waving? And to that, Mythbusters actually debunked it. So they went into a vacuum environment, and just like, so the flag that's on the moon has a bar across the top of it. And they went into a vacuum environment,
Mhm.
and they put the flag up, and then when they let go of it, it continued to wave. So the way that they explain the waving flag in space is that when they put the flag up and then let go of it, what people were seeing was still the movement.
Just the
from-
vibration of
Exactly.
putting it in there and letting go.
Exactly. Another reason is the lack of impact crater. The claim goes that NASA, that there would be a blast crater underneath the lunar module to mark its landing. On any of the footage, there's no crater visible. So the way that they debunked that was that the surface of the moon itself is a solid rock, so a blast crater probably wouldn't be feasible in any way. It's kind of the same way as like when an airplane touches down on a concrete airstrip, you don't see a mark from that.
Right.
So that was the reason for that. At any rate, Mythbusters completely debunked it. There's a great video where a reporter, or actually one of these conspiracy theorists, actually approached Buzz Aldrin. Is that? Yes.
I saw that.
Yes. And yeah, Buzz Aldrin. So someone actually like claimed to his face, told him, that you didn't actually, you're a liar and a coward, and to that he decked him. So.
And that's pretty awesome because he's like what, 78 or something.
That was a really good punch for an old guy too.
Yeah.
Is he 78?
Yeah,
right?
he's
Like
well, that video was a couple years old, so he might even be closer to 80 now.
Yeah.
He's awesome.
I think it's just really cool. I especially I'm a big fan of the show Mythbusters, and I loved that they debunked the moon landing. I mean, every single point, and every single point that conspiracy theorists have used to support their theory that we didn't actually land on the moon and that it was fabricated, they debunked that. So I thought that was fabulous. So in my mind, we did go to the moon, and unless somebody wants to call in and tell me otherwise.
I know I do have 2 messages that we got here about the show. Someone's listening. They said that that Nancy Pelosi was actually, she's a Left Behind alien. So, and the other one was one of the listeners says they work for a company that makes a UAV helicopter, and they test it here in the state.
A UAV helicopter.
Yeah, unmanned aerial vehicle.
Oh, okay. Is it the normal size of
that I don't know, and I'm not sure if he could even.
Oh, discuss that.
He could tell us, but then he'd have to kill us.
Yeah.
That would mean he'd have to kill all of our listeners.
Oh, so now you started the issue and you're not going to finish it.
I
Great.
apologize.
No, I'm kidding. I was talking to the listener. Call in, for crying out loud. Grab your balls and call. I'm sorry.
Grab your balls and call.
See, I pretty much.
Well, they sell those UAVs, the helicopter ones. They sell them at Costco for like $300, and they've got a camera on them, an HD camera, so you can film all over and then bring it down and then plug it in your computer.
Does it have lights on the bottom of it?
I don't know, but that'd be that's worth taking a look at.
But okay, that would be really interesting.
What?
Get one of those cameras, put a strip of lights underneath it, and freak everybody out. No, that would be bad.
That would be bad.
Don't do that. But if you do, give us a call at 602-399-7787. Give us the inside scoop.
So I was reading all there's quite a few different things they talk about the moon landing, as far as like the picture of the moon rock that supposedly has like a C on it, and it looks like someone actually just wrote it because it's perfect, like a perfect letter C. Ooh. So there's interesting things, but I think a lot of times you can find something in anything if you look at it long enough.
Well, and that's the thing about the conspiracy theories. It's often fictional evidence appearing real. Like, that's what happens. You have some little nugget of information, and then that gets a little bit twisted and contorted and made to support your theory. So,
now, however, the duplicate backdrop that I'm just looking at is quite interesting.
Well, into that, I wonder if, because they said, so with the duplicate backdrop, they're saying that these shots were actually, these were 2 different locations miles apart.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
correct.
What if they were wrong? What if they were actually the same location?
But they're different dates. So, like, wouldn't you think something would change somewhat a little bit?
Why would anything change? There's no atmosphere. How is something going to change?
Not.
It's not like you're going to have...
But it's not all the same. I mean, like, the what you see as far as the craters, like, how it's going, that's the same. But the actual, like, surface in front of that kind of backdrop is different.
All right. Maybe.
So I don't know.
Possible.
I'm just saying.
So what are you saying? Do you agree with the conspiracy theorists?
No, I absolutely think we landed on the moon, but I was just...
Well, I mean, you look at like cave rocks or whatever, or cave inscriptions or drawings or whatever by Native Americans from hundreds, if not thousands of years ago that are still around. You look at that one that's in France. It's the oldest cave inscription in the world. It's still there.
So maybe aliens put the C on there?
It could be.
Or maybe we were there before, but we just don't know it.
How come we don't have like a priest and a theory of evolution person in here? That's one of the biggest conspiracy. But that should be like a follow-on show for you guys. I'd like to watch that fight go down.
Oh, like the Big Bang Theory?
Yeah, the
versus,
Big Bang Theory.
Versus evolution?
Yeah.
I would
Not
do
to
that.
change subjects, but
I would do
yeah,
that.
that'd be
Let's
kind
do
of
it.
cool.
Yeah.
I think that if that is the case, that we were at the moon before and don't remember, it's because of all the chemtrails and they're dumbing us down so we don't remember. And if that's also the case, if chemtrails do happen and the aliens are waiting for us to mature, because right now we're a little infant that can't communicate and there's no reason for them to like make themselves known to us, and the chemtrails are happening, well then aliens, you're going to wait a long flipping time because our government is just like giving us drugs. So we're never going to be able to talk to you. So
Well,
you might as well go somewhere else.
Speaking about the government,
Yeah.
Rick Perry actually has a conspiracy theory about Obama and the border crisis. Like he thinks that the government, that the president and the federal government might be in on the coordinated surge of immigrants coming illegally across the Mexican border. Did you know that there's been 52,000 unaccompanied children from Central America?
52.
There is something really weird about that
Yeah.
whole thing.
Yep.
And you know what? And for the people that don't understand, I've got friends on, all across the board, and they're Hispanic, and they always say if you're against immigration and you're Hispanic, it's because you're already here. I don't think these people understand what these kids have to go through, and them or their parents and the hell and to get here, and how many of them die coming along the way. I don't even know what the correct answer is, but bringing them here just isn't that. It's really a sad situation.
Well, you had a huge debate on, on your personal page this week about what they've passed as far as what to spend on the border.
$3.7 billion.
Yeah.
Yep.
And all of that. And it was interesting, the one person's comment about how we are all immigrants. None of us were here. So, it's not fair of us, to sit here and not allow these people to come in when we came in. However, the difference is, as far as I know, since my ancestors are from Germany, they didn't walk across a border. They did it the legal way to do it.
Right.
And we're not trying to change that. We're not trying to, as far as I know, we're not trying to say no one can enter this country. That's not the point. But the point is, if you're going to come, then that you have to do it the right way, because our ancestors did. So you're right. We didn't all. We're not from here. All of us, our ancestors came from somewhere else. But
And it's not just the reason for doing it the right way isn't just because that's how it's been done. The reason is about security. And I hate to say it, but I'm really fearful that we're not going to get the point of securing the border, and we're not going to understand the importance of it until something tragic comes through the border. Like, we're not all going to get on board with this and understand it until something comes across our border that is of a 9/11 type nature.
There's a reason why Border Patrol agents, when they're sitting and they're waving cars through, why they have a meter on their belt that tells them how much radiation. If someone is carrying a dirty bomb or something like that, and then you start thinking of, okay, what if this person has some sort of disease, or this whole group of 500 or 52,000 people have a disease that they all have, and now it's infected. They've gone to California, and I love when I see people put. We were in California when they went to Murrieta. We were in San Diego, Michelle and I, and they had protesters said, no, you're not bringing them and dropping them off here. You're going to take them back to San Diego, where you picked them up at.
Which would send a very clear message. The whole reason that we have these, we know now that the reason that so many of the children have been coming across was because of a rumor, a rumor that if they got here, then they'd be able to stay.
Yeah.
The message that's coming back to them is not a very clear, strong message. Saying don't come here because it's dangerous isn't a clear message. The message needs to be, if you come here, you're going to get sent back. Yeah. And when you look at 3.7 billion versus, I think it would be 8 million was it 8 million to send that, to actually send them back?
Yes.
So 8 million would actually send them back. So 3.7 billion, I don't know if this is Common Core education and I'm not getting it, or if the politicians just aren't getting it. But
well, yeah, but that 3.7 billion is to try to keep the problem from continuing to happen.
A portion of it, 2% is 2% of that is going to go to securing the border. That's not enough.
Yeah, no,
it's absolutely not enough. So I think there might be some conspiracy theory there. I think there might be more to that we're not aware of. And Rick Perry is the one that had that that theory that the Obama administration is behind that border crisis, which it is a border crisis. You know what's interesting? To add to, is there a conspiracy theory there? Is there more to this that we're not aware of? Some media outlets are starting to refer to these children as refugees and not illegal immigrants. That's
a problem.
Is a very big problem.
Well, it's like when you know how they changed the name of taxes. This administration has changed the word taxes to revenue, and you know when they start changing names, something and they call them refugees. We weren't in one of my classes at ASU. We weren't allowed to call them illegal aliens.
Why?
We were because it was offensive. That's why I went from being a social work student to being a broadcast journalism, because I'm like I'm tired of this. Just give we'll give everything away, and believe me, I'm all for give us you're sick, you're weak, you're tired, like it says on. But they have to assimilate to American culture. Period.
Right. Absolutely.
If you don't, go by.
I think it's interesting that the terminology that the media sometimes uses.
Mm-hmm.
I can't help but wonder. We look at other cultures and say, oh, they're being controlled by their media. I can't help but wonder, are we as well? Is that taking place in our media as well? The large media outlets out there, are they a part of a master plan? And when they use certain terminology, it really concerns me. That's why I don't just get my news from the Associated Press. I get my news from many sources outside of our country. So, speaking of terrorist attacks, and my big reason that I feel that the border needs to be secure is my concern, not just about the who's coming into our country, which I think a country should know who's coming into their country. I'm also concerned about terrorist attacks. And when you talk about conspiracy theories, this is one that I think it's no coincidence that this is probably the last one that we're going to talk about here today. But 9/11, this is one that I talked about it, and on our Facebook page, I was a little bit concerned with talking about this one because, for the most part, all of the conspiracy theories that we've covered, I feel like I've been able to really talk about them objectively. With respect to 9/11, despite the fact that Al-Qaeda terrorists claimed responsibility for the attacks, some still believe otherwise. The two main beliefs among the theorists, the first is that a select member of the U.S. government had been warned about the attacks and ignored the threat, allowing them to happen. The second belief is that the select members of the government orchestrated the attacks using remote control planes, demolition material, and/or missile attacks. I don't know if it's that I'm not willing to believe that our government was behind that.
Mm-hmm.
I keep going back to the Al-Qaeda claimed that they did it. So an ulterior motive, a conspiracy theory, I find it hard to believe. So I'm kind of questioning myself. Is it that I am physically and mentally unable to believe that our government would do that, or is it just it's not logical? Al-Qaeda has already claimed responsibility for it. So
I just find it really hard to believe that it's some remote control missile something. I think that's one of the batshit crazy theories.
I agree.
When we talk about how a lot of people hear conspiracy theories and they think crazy automatically,
right?
That kind of reminds me of a crazy one. That's my thoughts. I don't know, James. Do you have any input on whether you?
No, I would agree too. It drive me nuts. When people say that the United States was part of it or anything like that. So.
Yeah. So I think we're all in agreement on that one.
Yeah, I think so too.
All right. So for the most part,
We kind of agree.
Yeah, except for aliens. I don't think we're on the same page about.
No. Okay, well, the whole reptile shapeshifter thingy, I'm a definite no. You know, Princess Diana saying,
Right.
like, really, the Queen of England, that little frail little white thing turns into a damn lizard alien every night when she goes to bed? I don't think I believe that. So, anyway. Thank you, Ivan. We appreciate that. Yeah.
What did you do? I missed it.
He's
Oh, right. He's titillating out there.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
pretending to be a chick.
Okay.
Okay, so that's our show on conspiracy theories. The show that's coming up is definitely a conspiracy theory.
Definitely. I don't even know how they're here.
So if you're a fan of sports, you definitely want to stay tuned because JD's Rockin' Sports is up next, and they've actually, if you're not even a fan of sports, you should still tune in. You should tune into all of the shows that are on Vets on Media. And if you go to vetsonmedia.com, you can check out all the shows, and we've got a great lineup of shows. So
we think so. But there's something for everyone. You know, there's
many of the shows are hosted by veterans. Obviously, we're not.
We just have a board operator that is.
Yes.
So see, our show's kind of like one.
Word.
So no, we do have lots of shows. We have shows about real estate. We have shows about guns. We have shows about sports. We have a new show called That Show.
That show, it's an urban show. We have Knockout Radio. We have the New American Veteran, and we're gonna have a couple more shows coming on here. All comedy. It'll be all comedians.
Nice.
So,
really?
Yeah, it's gonna be. You just tune in. It's gonna be nothing but their skits for like an hour straight, 2 hours with limited
awesome.
Commercials. So,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So next week we're going to talk about bullying. We're going to have a couple guests in studio that are going to share their personal stories of how they were bullied. So we're going to talk about that.
Well, good, because I was bullied as a kid.
Really?
Yeah, because I had freckles.
Okay.
That's all it took. You know, there's no more to the story. I mean, when you're a little kid and you have like freckles everywhere.
That's the end of your story?
Absolutely bullied every day.
Are you over it?
No, probably not, but it's okay.
All right, so we'll be talking about that next week. And the WWW, Michelle goes out and finds the wild, wonderful, and weird. So this is No Limits Radio. I'm Christina.
And I'm Michelle.
See you next week. And thank you, James.
You're welcome.